experience?
Yeah, I felt like I did one of the harder workouts in my life. It was, it's no joke. I just have I gained so much more respect for the men and the women that fly these. It's a lot. Like I still don't really know the terminology, but once you hit like 4 or 5 Gs, like you can't really like focus for a few seconds. So the fact that they're able to do what they do and breathe during it, it's very, very impressive and very nice of them to share this day with me. It was an amazing day leading into it. It's crazy how much stuff goes into just flying for like just under an hour, but it was really fun. The only time I felt a little iffy up there is when he let me fly it. I was doing just flip after flip. So other than that, it was just one of the greatest experiences of my life.
Matthew, what does it mean to you just knowing what these guys represent for the United States of America?
Yeah, no, it's what we were talking about all day. Just what an inspiration they are. Love too, like how they're a big team. We have that in common with just playing a team sport, so we're talking just to them like a lot of similarities between hockey and like kind of what they're doing, even though it's a way bigger team. It's just the same family atmosphere, and they're so close, and they need each other, they rely on each other. You have to do your exact part for it to work. And up there, I mean, they're flying literally this far away from each other. Like I had the best seat in the house, so saw it all. It was unbelievable.
Your name is on the side of a plane. Matthew.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was a surprise to me. The helmet, having all my stuff on the helmet was a surprise. Just the whole day. I mean, they went above and beyond to make this such an incredible day for me. And I got to bring the medal to show them, what it was able to accomplish in February, and told them, we said it when we were over there after we won, but thinking of them and all, first responders, police, firemen, everybody that do such a great job for our country. So I was able to share that with them, and then they were able to share literally the greatest day ever with me. So,
be honest, is there any fear factor when you're getting it? I mean,
I
had to be a little.
No, I was more scared if I was gonna have to throw up, or if I was gonna black out. There was a close call on both. But I didn't really have to throw up there. I handled that good. It was just more, I don't know, when the G's hit you, it's crazy. I'm feeling like nothing I've ever felt before. So it was so cool to be able to do it. And I mean, the planes literally are like the fastest things I've ever been in. It's crazy. So much fun.
Matthew, when you think of the adrenaline that it comes to playing, a Game 7 to this, what is that level for you as you're getting ready to take off? Because you prepped for this. They were telling us that you did the whole work, the emergency procedures and everything. Yeah. But what's that adrenaline rush for you once you're in the sky?
I think I was just maybe a little bit more nervous for this, and then I met Wrath, who flew me, and then all my nerves just went away. He was unreal. It was couldn't have had a better person fly me around and just be like, tell me what we're going to do and tell me to breathe on stuff that I'd forget to do. And it's just an all-around unbelievable day. But I would say, to answer your question, definitely more nervous coming into today, just because this isn't my sport, or it's my first time doing it. So, but once you meet him, and then you see how much work goes into the prepping, and how every little move is planned, and they have their meetings, and it's like a pregame meeting for us. They go over it a few hours before, and then an hour before, and then right before they go, and it's just so surreal and so cool to see.
His name is Raph. Oh, Brad, would you have a nickname for yourself?
That's a great question. They said they would give me one after. They wouldn't give me one before, so they had to wait for after. So told them to try to meet with them for a couple drinks over the weekend, so maybe we'll hammer out a name then.
Is this one of those childhood type dreams? I mean, getting to fly in a fighter jet. We saw Roddy's kids here earlier freaking out. This is one of the things you dreamed of that as a kid.
Yeah, I'm definitely anything involving the U.S. or anything kind of military like that. It's always been a bucket list thing to see it firsthand and try. Definitely for my brother, he was really jealous that I was able to do this. And then once you talk to more people and realize how special this is, obviously I know it is, but talking to more and more people how this is crazy, once in a lifetime. I'm the luckiest guy ever that I get to do it. It just made me realize this is truly an unbelievable experience, and I'm going to enjoy every single second of it, because not everybody gets to do it.
Your trophy mantle is obviously so full these days with awards, medals, things like that. How excited are you to add these things to that now?
Yeah, that over 9 G's pin will be added to that for sure.
Talking about the pride of America 250 coming up, of course, going gold medal. Now this, how much pride do you have in the USA?
Oh yeah, it's the number. Try to make sure that if I'm not the most, I'm right up there for the most patriotic guy. Love this country. It's the best country in the world, and it's all thanks to everybody that works behind the scenes here, and that gives us the freedom to enjoy the best place in the world.
How much of that goes into how you're going to go play this month?
Yeah.
You're trying to join a club that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
How much does your love of all things U.S. factor into the decision to go play?
That's the main reason why. But I also feel good. I feel healthy. I didn't really play that much this year, so that also went into it. But any chance that you can represent your country, it's an honor. But I think just especially after the Olympics, every time you get the opportunity, I just want to be back there playing.
Matthew, baby girl, is gonna find out that you did the coolest things. Are you officially might be the coolest dad to be able to say all this?
I mean, I might not be the coolest dad, considering I probably woke her up from her nap when we did the 4 or 5 flyovers. He kept asking, Rath kept asking, you want to do another one? I'm like, yeah, one more. So we went over the house a bunch. And I know it's loud because I think they were practicing a few days ago and I could hear it clearly. It was shaking the house. So I don't know. Hopefully one day she thinks I'm pretty cool.
You said for a little bit there, he let you take over. What was that experience like, actually controlling that thing?
I was very tentative and scared at the start, and then I just went heavy left, and then just kept doing this in the sky. We were really high up. I don't think I could be a pilot. I'm gonna leave that up to them.
Good evening, everybody. What a weekend Robin and I had. It was the word I'm going to use in terms of what we went through this weekend. Just like this guy, by the way, that was Matthew Tkachuk from the Florida Panthers and also from Team USA. That's him to the far right of President Trump. When they went to go visit the White House, they had just won the gold medal in the Olympics, and that's he on the far right of Trump, or as you're looking at it, your left. And he got to go up with these guys, which jealous, not that my big behind could get in there, but in any event, the word I'm going to use is cathartic. As you heard him, MVP, gold medalist, Stanley Cup winning hockey player, it's very humbling. It's very, just whoa, is this who we are? And then you realize all the stuff that you've been hearing on X or on social media is completely bullcrap. As Robin and I both got fries, if you're looking at my complexion, I look a little bit darker because it was unbelievably hot and the beach was absolutely packed. And when I say packed, I mean 20, 30, 40 deep for miles. And it doesn't include the hundreds of boats that were out in the ocean. It was fantastic. And I want to give you some information on this because I want to go in depth on this for a little bit to open the show, because this pretty much, it blew me away. Even though I had been to a number of these, it still blew me away.
Show, it got off to a great start. And with that, let's bring in Samir Nefsi, who's been there all day long for all of the fun. Samir.
Yeah, hey there, ladies. Just so much excitement here on Fort Lauderdale Beach, well, above Fort Lauderdale Beach, for the 14th annual Air Show, of course, featuring so much, but from everything from the F-22 Raptors to the headliners, the Thunderbirds, so much to see and so much excitement.
Loud, boisterous, exciting.
Day one of the Sky High Show, drawing in hundreds of thousands to Fort Lauderdale Beach, says Chris Dorado of Show Fort Lauderdale.
It can become an educational moment for kids when you think about it. They might be inspired to pursue a career in the aviation industry or even in the military.
The jaw-dropping spectacle pulling in crowds from near and far.
We love coming to air shows. And so we fly wherever there's an air show.
Carrie and Kevin Funk of Central Florida getting a unique experience parking their personal aircraft next to an F-18 used in the show.
It's amazing that the military allows their pilots to do something like this.
Okay, I don't know if you caught that. These people flew down from Central Florida in their own jet and parked it right next to the Thunderbirds. When I say this was cathartic, it was amazing. Over a 2-day period, over 1 million patriotic fans packing the beaches, waving flags, kids cheering, veterans standing tall, and the thunder of these jets overhead. It was pure Americana. It was simply amazing. And I want you to picture this. Can you picture, figure day one, 500, 600,000. Today, second day, another 400,000 or 500,000 people side by side of all colors, laughing, clapping, enjoying every second of the military prowess on display. Not a single riot, not a single protest, just good old-fashioned patriotism. People were walking around with just smiles on their faces. And it was so much fun. As I stood there surrounded by all these people, and by the way, in our hotel today, Adam Sandler just decided he was going to show up. And I'm thinking, I heard he was conservative, but he's been very quiet with what he says and things. But he was there, come strolling in. It hit me like a ton of bricks. The drama we see every day on X, on Facebook, in the media, all that social media garbage from the socialists, the Democrats, one and the same, and a wannabe communist, that stuff does not reflect real life. That's the takeaway I want to tell you. It's not even close. You see, if you go on X and you see all these stories, they want you to think that America's on fire, everyone's broke, everyone's angry, everyone is racist. But I was there. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. Real life is completely different. Here, let me show you something. I'm there for like the first hour, and this guy walks over and goes, "Barry." I'm like, who knows me here? And a security guard, a black man, oh my gosh, not oppressed, a black guy comes over and says, "Can I take a picture with you?" I'm like, "Of course. Of course." And we sat there, we talked, and we went back and forth. His name was Marcus. Everybody, did you see the smile on his face? That's not because he just, happened to meet me. He was happy because it was probably a cake job that day. And his big job that day was to walk around and make sure that people had the right wristbands on, that you just didn't show up at the hotel and decide you want to come to the beach, because you just can't do that. You just can't come strolling into the hotel and all the festivities and food and everything. And then you step back and you realize, man, nothing like what we've been told is true. Even though I'm a news junkie, it just caught me by surprise. Kids, moms, teens, black, Hispanic, of course, white, all there together to watch the heavens open up with military might. And I thought to myself, did I find heaven? I really sat back and I'm like, look at this. There's going to be 1 million people over the weekend. And I would have to venture to say that 99%, they may not be MAGA, but they're patriots. They're there to watch this parade, the parade in the sky. They weren't holding signs and asking for stuff and want to break wit. No, these people were celebrating. And I thought to myself, we watch every single protest. We watch every single riot. And yet, no, I didn't see a CNN truck. I definitely didn't see an MS Now truck. There was barely any local people covering it.
Quite a unique treat on full display, Saturday's headliner, the Thunderbirds. Showcasing the high-performance skills of these aircrafts, pilots performing stunts like this diamond formation in a mere 18 inches apart.
Well, I'm a little speechless because it brings tears to my eyes.
I'm a little speechless because it brought tears to my eyes. That's what that woman just said. It brought tears to my eyes. And she probably wasn't the only one. I remember when the first plane came through, and if you've never been to one down on this beach, they have them all over the country. But this plane came in between two buildings in like quiet mode, and when he turned out into the ocean, he hit the afterburners and about blew everybody away. There's no way you could see this and not come away from it and go, America, F yeah. F yeah, America. And with all those people, the police was scarce. People were taking care of their own. And it really let me believe what we're seeing in real life is completely different what the media is trying to tell you.
The U.S. military felt as the Veteran Focus show takes flight as we approach the nation's 250th anniversary.
It's heartwarming to me, as an American, as a veteran, to have everybody come out and just admire this and have a great time.
From seasoned attendees,
I love seeing the jets. I love jets.
to youngsters, all left in awe of the U.S. military's machinery.
It's crazy because of how they can do the stunts, like how it looks like they train a lot.
From inversions to loops and speeds.
Just celebrating our America and its technology and honoring our military and the sacrifices to get us where we are today.
Just so much excitement, and across the board, from the young kids to the older folks, smiles, especially when you see these aircrafts zip on by while they are extremely.
Look in the background. I wanted to show this to you because look at the background. Oh my gosh! I guess Hakeem Jeffries and idiot eraserhead from Tennessee. They don't see this. They think it's just all whitey, all rich people. And the best part of this entire thing is, the hotel's charged, and if you had a boat, you had to bring your boat out there on your own. But outside of the VIP areas, it was free. Anybody could literally walk down the street in their bathing suit and come watch this. There was nothing keeping Americans away from the beach this weekend, and it was packed. And man, was it hot. And as long as you had enough water to keep you going, this thing, it hit me differently. And I wanted to spend a little bit time beforehand here, getting too deep into the show, because I came away with a completely different picture of life at this point. Hotels, every single one of them sold out for miles around. Restaurants, packed to the gills, people waiting in line with big smiles, not a complaint in sight. It was amazing. Parking attendants making money. The valet alone, I don't even want to tell you what it cost to valet a car. Cops working overtime, directing traffic, making sure everybody is safe with a smile on their faces. Servers, bartenders, all of them busting their ass, making money, and enjoying the show right along with everyone else. And that's not even include, like you see in the background of this guy, all of the vendors that were selling their wares, everything from hats to flags to food, drinks, you name it, the cash registers were ringing. And why? Because this event was an all-American, beautiful event that generated over $30 million for the local economy. $30 million in just 2 days. Where's all this money coming from? We're told every day that people can't afford gas. You know what it costs to put gas in a boat? And there were literally hundreds of them. Do you know what it costs to, park and like an event like this, or drink water even at an event? Never mind a different kind of drink. Where was all the broke power, the Democrats? I saw real economic power at a patriotic event. When patriotic Americans get together and celebrate, not what the liberals tell you on TV, but a contrast of that, you see a complete, a dichotomy of people having a great time. probably not that many Democrats, probably not that many, zero socialists, not that many anti-American people, because you would have got stomped. The media is playing mind games with people. I'm not saying whatsoever that there aren't people hurting. I'm not saying whatsoever that some people are having a hard time with gas prices. But what I am saying is what I saw. And it was pure and simple Americana and people having a great time and spending a whole lot of money. Yes, there are people hurting, but the overwhelming amount of people, I believe, in America are doing well. They only focus on this point here, and they try to amplify it. It's amazing. I mean, I woke up in the morning, you saw one of the videos I took, and I opened up the blinds, and the boats were just packed. It was like a parking lot for yachts. There was no, misinformation. There was no foul outrage. Every single day online, they scream racism, which we're going to get into. They scream it to divide people. They scream because they want normal people who they think are broke and destitute to be miserable with them. But I was there, surrounded by hundreds of thousands of people. And let me tell you, these are not broke people. They're not angry people. These are hardworking business owners, employees, God-fearing, because I saw so many people saluting and everything else, waving their flags, wearing their flags, living their lives, enjoying the freedom that our military and our history have given us. They want you to believe that everyone is suffering. They're not.
It's still quite a sight to see, but check it out. The air show continues tomorrow, starting at noon. That's the very latest. We're live from Fort Lauderdale Beach.
This is me taking a video from a perspective up on our balcony. I wanted to stop here for a second because there are so many. You're probably wondering, Barry, what are those dots out there? So as you're seeing these jets come flying by very quickly, you wonder what's going on out there? What is that flotsam? Is it garbage? No, every one of those little dots that you're seeing is a boat that had to be gassed up and sat there for hours. I wanted to take a quick perspective so you could see the beach. I did another one, and I'm like, look at all these Nazis. It's a whole bunch of white Nazis and black Nazis all up and down the beach as these things are going by crazily. From that perspective, can you see how far that line of boats goes? And I'm not talking dinghies. I'm talking, you can just see just boats as far as you can possibly see. That's how many mega yachts, plus there were smaller boats as well, just lining the beach. I got him. Where is it? You can hear me yelling to Robin, where is it? Because one of the things is you're standing there, you're looking at the water, and these things, I'd hate to be in Iran, they just drop out of the sky. Like, I'm like, whoa, gosh. I'm trying to, where is, she's like, over there. I don't know where they at. At one point when they do this, what's called the diamond, they're coming in and they're, 5 or 6 jets going 500 plus miles per hour, 18 inches apart. I'm like, there is no room for error. I just wanted to give you guys a taste of it because it was just absolutely phenomenal. But the biggest thing was there was no drama. The media and the left, they manufacture drama to keep you glued to your screens and your phones. And it's the only way they can get people to vote for them. We're going to get into some of the craziness that they're doing. I saw firsthand the online world get repelled by the real world. That was real world. That was real life. You cannot ignore that. And I was almost thinking as though the media, because some of the media is liberal from even down here, they were saying, oh, it's a massive crowd. And I would like say the number. They didn't want people to know the largesse of what was going on. The Democrats keep posting fake stories, twisted facts, anything to make you think America is falling apart. And they can only keep doing that if people don't let other people know real life is not indicative of what they say. Normal people were living their best lives this weekend. Enjoying this stuff happening in the blue skies, the roar of these planes, the company of good people, fellow patriots. No one was talking about the latest liberal outrage. Nobody was talking about racism. Nobody was talking about the Virginia Supreme Court. None of it. People in the water, in the pools, at the hotel, going through the lazy river, doing everything, and just sitting up. I mean, I think for the first hour, Robin was in the lazy river, just floating around, looking up at the sky. People were proud to be Americans. When's the last time you've seen a large group of people all at once yelling, screaming, saluting, cheering our military and the workers and crews associated with it? I'm telling you, everybody, it put a different perspective in my mind. I hope it puts a little bit of a different perspective in your mind. And again, I'm going to put the asterisk. I'm not saying everybody is okay. I know there are people with a fixed income who don't have the opportunity to do something, but I'm talking numbers. And when I talk about numbers, I'm like, it's a smaller percentage of people who can't enjoy prosperity versus the people who can. And I just showed you. I mean, literally just a line of boats. That's the America I know. That's the America I live in down here. Every day we all go to work, we raise our kids, we enjoy our family, enjoy our weekends, we celebrate our country. And I'm just telling you, over the next couple of weeks or however long, ignore these idiots. It's nonsense. The Democrats are seeing their entire party fall apart. It is no longer faux outrage, it's real outrage. They understand they are close to extinction. Yesterday, what I saw made me think even that they're even closer to extinction. They can't measure that. They have no effect on any of those people. I was right there. I saw them. I saw American excellence. I saw American pride. And whether they were boomers or little kids or teenagers or young women or young men and black or white or Spanish, they were living their lives. Not a single one of them were walking around with MSNBC telling them how bad life sucks. They're not constantly being torn down by the media because they're not listening to them. So when you see these people online, and I'm going to show you some of them today, understand they're talking to a very, very small percentage of people. Capitalism is not dead. Yes, there are some people struggling, but I just watched $30 million get poured into the Fort Lauderdale economy in 2 days. It was packed, it was fun, it was patriotic, it was safe, and it was pretty much libtard free. So what's my takeaway from this? Start doing things libtards don't do. You think to yourself, wait a minute, is it that easy? Yeah. Start doing things that you like that libtards don't do. As I've mentioned before, I'm going to show you something President Trump says, but yeah, get ready to go to football games. Get ready to go to baseball games. Get ready to go to parades. Get ready to celebrate Memorial Day and 4th of July. Do stuff with real Americans, and you'll realize they don't have any hold over any of this. And what was really interesting, none of them were out there protesting. They didn't, there was no way you wanted to come in and get in the middle of all that. It would have been a giant mosh pit. They hate themselves. They hate you. They hate me for what we are doing. Make them hate us more. Live a life that's beyond the narrative that they're trying to put together. I'm psyched. I mean, I came back more convinced than ever that real America is alive and well and stronger than ever. And we're going to keep it that way. So if you have not been to an air show lately, please let me tell you, go to one, take your kids. If there's any in the neighborhood, take your grandkids, wave the flag, enjoy the show, and see for yourself. Don't just take my words. The America that they don't want you to see, you have to go see. And I wish more of you could have come down here, but man, it changed my thinking completely, because there were times I listened to all these people scream and moan and kvetch online, and I'm like, are people really listening to this? And people used to say to me, well, they still say, Barry, you live in South Florida. It's a world of difference down there. I'm like, Robin, I understand we're down here, but is it really that much different? Or is it because we're doing it right? Can other people experience this if they do it right where they live? That's the difference in terms of what I believe. Fort Lauderdale is an oasis, a vacation area. It's a little bit different in regards to that, but start going where they don't go. And if you're not seeing them, then you're going to enjoy yourself even more. I fully believe that. SB, you around? There you are.
Hey, happy Mother's Day to everybody out there.
Oh,
Barry, I love how you had a great weekend, and I loved all those videos. You know, I was really looking very hard. I was zooming in on your videos, and I was looking for the Nazis, and I saw a bunch of tiki torches, but I didn't see anybody in white hoods with slits in them. So I think you were good. I think you were okay.
And you know what? The white hoods probably would have been welcome, because they could have sold them for sunshades. We could have just all had white hoods on, and because they go down behind the back of your neck and stuff. And people were like, "Oh, give me a sombrero." Oh, that white hood would work really well right now. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I got a little sun this week, and I played a lot of pickleball. I was out today and played a bunch of poker last night. Very prosperous as usual. taking money from the fish.
Yeah.
I got to come back down to Florida to get more.
You should have come down this past weekend. It was, like I said, it was cathartic. It was just something I haven't
Yeah.
seen in quite some
I
time.
see.
And it really, like, sometimes you go to events, you get tired. It was like sticking a B12 shot in my butt. I'm like, wow, this is
Nice.
it. This is it.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
ready to take on these people next week. And I see President Trump is ready to take some of these people on too. You got anything on what he's doing?
Yeah, but I was going to actually lead in with something so to kind of dovetail on what you were saying. So I was going to review the Democrat plan for the midterms, and then I was going to give you a segue into a real life example that happened this morning. So I'm going to go through that real quick. So Democrats heading into 2026, this is what they plan to do: no solutions, no policies, no integrity, no leadership, no talent, no hope, no joy, no love for America, just pure hate, open borders, inflation, crime, and cultural destruction. So meanwhile, this morning, let's prove that they're actually continuing to do that. So our good old Bronx bartender, AOC, she flew down to Warnock's. I hope this is not your story, by the way.
No.
She flew down to Warnock's MLK church this morning, and she did a little race baiting. She said basically that the legislators across the South seek to draw Black Americans out of power. Translation: how dare courts force fair maps and stop Democrats from racially gerrymandering safe seats to keep power? Peak fake outrage, MLK cosplay, separation of church and state only applies when it's useful to them, right? So, this is all they have.
And that's what I'm saying is if you stop and realize that they're in a death spiral and just associate with people who want to build you up and build up America, they've got nothing. I mean, they're all
Right.
I bet you I haven't seen that church, but I bet you it ain't really crowded. I mean, there's probably a couple of hundred people because nobody wants on Mother's Day. You want to hear that kind of negativity?
It's
But
all
then again,
miserable. Yeah, it's depression. I mean, I'd rather be out in the sunshine, getting vitamin D and going to the
Yeah.
beach, getting vitamin C, SEA. I don't know. It's their messaging is definitely failing. People are turning around. They're seeing it. I think the midterms, I think we're in good shape personally.
Yeah.
Again, you watch tomorrow, first story, Epstein.
Well, you can always tell how things are going by the way people act, and the complete outrage and screaming doesn't afford themselves confidence. If you look at the contrast, they're losing it. I mean, I've got some stuff I'm
Yeah.
going to show you that I want to break down,
Okay.
but man, they're losing it.
Well, yeah. Well, Trump. Back to Trump. You asked me about it. He had a really long truth post about the Supreme Court's justice and packing the court. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I mean, you might want to look at it and you could read part of it. But he was very busy today on Truth Social with a lot of different topics, especially Iran. You saw what I wrote. I think, to be honest, I think because everything's kind of been kind of laissez-faire, kind of laid back. I'm sure none of the bridges have anybody strapped to them. I think it's a good time going there and not nuke, but take out the bridges, take out the infrastructure, send them back to the Stone Age. That's what they seem to enjoy, So
Yeah, I think it's deep state and media related, telling Iran to basically, put yourselves out there as martyrs, and so that the big bad United States can blow you out of the water, and we can just tell everybody how bad the United States is. But I'm telling you, this weekend I saw a whole bunch of people would like push the button, just end it. We don't care. So maybe it's a perfect time for people to realize don't listen to the crap they say over the next couple of days.
Yeah. Well, the nuclear material, I'm going to go back to that little bit of tinfoil hat. I think, they're definitely getting pressurized by, who to not release it because it's going to come back to that person. Right?
Yep.
So,
yep. And they know
yeah. So, all right. Well, I'll let you get back to it, Barry.
All right.
I'm sure I'll have some other stuff in the queue. Good to see you back. I'm glad you had a great weekend.
Oh, it was great. All right. Well, let's get on with this. Wow, it's 40 minutes in. We're just starting the show.
One man is being victimized by our own government. One man who they fear yet who millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
So as everybody knows, today is Mother's Day. I hope every single one of you who is a mom or grandmom had a fantastic day. Hope the grandkids and the kids took care of you, went out to a nice lunch or dinner, and really celebrated the heart of America, the mothers who are out there. Which leads me to a great segue, because if you have not been following the mayoral race in Los Angeles, you may not know what's going on. There's a guy named Spencer Pratt who's running to be the mayor of Los Angeles. And what he's doing has left Karen Bass and the other person who's trying to challenge with no answer. They can't even find a way to respond to the stuff that he's been putting out. And I believe he's got a very, very, absent of cheating, I think he's got a very, very good chance of winning the mayoral race in Los Angeles. It ain't from lack of trying. The guy is everywhere. He is putting out some fantastic videos. And today he put out one for Mother's Day.
Is this the house? It is. How do you get it out? I want to go in the airstream.
Heidi and I have been through hell together.
Why, Dad? Oh, I'm pulling up the covers. Oh.
No mom should ever have to go through what she's gone through.
This is the first week he's been here.
Hummingbird! 3!
You see him right here?
This was where your bedroom was. Remember? This was Mama's room right here. Are you okay?
No.
I think that they're trying to have a good attitude about it, but I did see Gunner like almost crying up there, but they're so happy to be home too.
This is my old favorite shovel, Mom.
Wow,
And it's plastic. This used to be my... Oh, it didn't.
There's a piece of it. But I think they're just happy to be home. I just I'm right here. You want to sit right here? I gotta go pee. Oh no! I got time to go pee and then go pee right there. I got.
I am constantly in awe of Heidi. She's the most incredible mom to our boys. She's why I fight.
Wow. Wow. SV said that it looks like my sound and video might be a little bit out of sync. There's nothing I can do with it right now because it's probably the platform that I'm going through. So please bear with me. That's incredible. By the way, in case you don't know Spencer's history, he lived in that area, had a nice family, nice house where the fires went through, and he can't get his house rebuilt. He's living out of a trailer. And his wife and his kids come back to the place where their house used to be, and he cuts an ad talking about how Heidi is doing so well to keep the kids somehow in check. The Democrats have no answer for this. Number one, they don't know what a woman is. Number two, they can't stand family. They cut a counter ad today, and the counter ad seems like it should get him elected. Oh, he wants to reduce your taxes. He wants to, get rid of illegals. Yeah, that's the point. They don't get it. And this guy is just putting out ad after ad after ad. Some of them are real, some of them are AI, but he just keeps coming after them over and over. And the funny thing is, they can't respond. How do you respond to that? Karen Bass, how do you explain or respond to that ad right there? You can't, because everything you respond to sheds more eyeballs on the situation. Most people don't know. What do you mean he hasn't rebuilt his house? Nope, they won't let him rebuild. He's living out of a trailer. You see, the part that really screws up California and Los Angeles is it's a real guy showing you real problems. They can't gloss it over. I mean, I don't know how much of the media is even showing his stuff. In fact, CBS, I believe, tried to cut out a bunch of his interview, and they made him show the entire uncut piece. We're fighting back in a way that the Democrats can't fight. They understand at this point that the problem that they have is to not let the rest of America understand what they were trying to do. And so as more people run like in offices like this and they show the actual problems, how do you answer? Do you guys know, you remember in Baltimore, the bridge that got backed into and it collapsed? It's still not done. As more people shine a light on this kind of stuff, it's like, okay, what are you people doing? The only way that Democrats can get any sort of traction is to lie and omit. If people don't see the bridge still not rebuilt, you'd never know it. If you didn't see Spencer Pratt saying, I'm living here in a trailer with my wife and 2 kids, you'd never know it. You'd think people rebuilt their homes. The Democrats are not able to counter the argument that Americans actually care for. Case in point, Gavin Newsom. They asked him to suspend the gas taxes in California. He said no. You'd think that'd be a front page story on every media. Nope, unless you go digging for it, you don't know that Gavin Newsom refused to suspend gas taxes. They won't even talk about it. But I can bet you that Spencer Pratt will talk about it. He will let people know, indeed, that that's what's going on out there. Now, you don't live in California, maybe, and you can't really vote for him. But one thing you can do is help spread his message. That's why I wanted to play that, because I just thought that was perfect on Mother's Day, and that you guys can now push that message out as well. It needs to be put out. And so I want to do my little part. Ashley's going to see if we can get him on the show. But in any event, help push his message out to people in California who may not know. All right, so I want to segue into something. President Trump did an interview with Cheryl Atkinson. She used to be with CBS, and I don't know what happened there, but this is her 10th interview with President Trump, and most people probably don't even know who she is. So President Trump sat down with an interview with her. I'm going to play it, and I'm going to react to some of the stuff that they say. I didn't like how she segued right off of that. That was a huge thing. It was almost like Israel is kryptonite. That is big, because there's so many people in our country who are bitching about United States protecting Israel. It is a bone of contention on the left. That's like one of their biggest things. Besides racism, it's Israel. And he drops that out there for her to talk about. And okay, let's pivot. Okay. So I told you, listen to what she says when he asks her a question. So you have to wonder, she goes through this back and forth about the NFL, where did this question come from? I want you to just remember that as you hear him now talking about the NFL. You just asked the President of the United States about the NFL. You just asked him about football, and you come back with, I don't know anything about football. So, if that's the case, why the hell did you put a question about the NFL into your interview? Or rather, who put the question about the NFL into your interview? You could have lied and said, yeah, I love the Jets or something. I don't watch football. Because immediately upon seeing that, I was like, well, then what the hell are you asking him any questions about the NFL for? Unless somebody told her to ask that question. And if you guys remember, I'm not really patting myself on the back. Well, kinda. I told you the eyes were going to begin shifting towards football, that there's going to be a focus on football. Because, again, I went through the whole calendar with you. Mini camps are right now. In July, the camps open, and then preseason. Same thing for college. And people were out there this weekend looking at the air show. What do you think they're going to be doing come August? They're going to be watching football. President Trump knows that. The left knows that. The left in themselves are trying to hurt football. Case in point. What if black college athletes refuse to sign to schools in states that gerrymandered districts to exclude black representation? Well, that's what he said. There wouldn't be any football because the entire country is gerrymandering stuff. And you expect a kid who just signed a scholarship with some school and is getting millions in NIL to go, nah, never mind, you're gerrymandering. Get your nose out of football. Well, you can't, because you know how important it is to people moving forward. They are anticipating what I told you. They know the eyeballs are going to shift, and the left is already trying to shift into it. And I commend anybody in President Trump's team or whoever who inserted this football question into this interview, when obviously the interviewer has no idea what the hell he's talking about. All right, so President Trump just weighed in and not happy with the NFL kickoff, which I hate it too. And also the fact that you have to have you have to have Hulu and YouTube, and I don't even know all the different things that you got to have to see your team. And he's like, I'm not happy about it. So it's obviously a shot to Roger Goodell, do something here, because people shouldn't have to buy 19 different networks to see a game. Same thing with college. But I just found it odd after talking to you guys last week that his first interview since all that happened, he gets asked about football by someone who doesn't have a clue.
About the Republicans.
All right. So she's reading her questions, and now she's asking him about Venezuela and voter fraud in terms of the 2020 election. Is there anything that's going to come of that? I got to believe at this point somebody fed her these questions. They are so disjointed. The flow is awful. And I mean, here's one topic, and let's jump to Venezuela. The man doesn't pull any punches when he talks. Now, I understand Cheryl Atkinson, again, she was with CBS. Trump actually likes her. Again, like I told you, she's interviewed him like 10 times. But I don't know about this. Commission on what? What vaccine?
Vaccine. I'm sure it will be.
What would you be doing?
I found that extremely interesting. More because of his positioning, how he got a big smile. It almost tells me he and Elon have already been in Fort Knox. Because I love that question, because it kind of like went away. Everybody was talking about go audit Fort Knox, and then poof, it was gone. So that was a great question she asked, and he was kind of surprised, and he just smiled. So this man does it. He's like a perfect lawyer, even though he's not a lawyer. He knows what he wants before he even answers. And he wasn't going to tell her anything about that. He also didn't answer the John Rich question. So John Rich may be coming on to handle the Tennessee Valley Authority. So that was the interview. Informative. It amazes me that the liberals, and I was talking to Robin about this earlier, they're complaining about everything. As you know, they're complaining about the ballroom. They say that the reflection pond is disgusting, and him putting granite on that pathway. They don't like to spend any money, even if it's not government money, on anything that's not going to their initiatives. Every single dime in the way they think should be going to, newcomers and paying for their stuff. They're barking up the wrong tree completely. SV, I saw you had some stories up there. What's going on with Newsom giving away money to his wife or something?
Yeah, he's in some deep diaper shit. Literally. I love the segues. He is now being accused of NGO fraud and money laundering after announcing $20 million to a diaper group linked to his wife, Jennifer, and her allies. They're saying, why is it 50 cents per diaper when you get 16 cents per diaper right off the shelf? So they're saying because they have to launder the money, the nonprofit that is not only filled with Newsom's wife pals, but Democrat donor pals and Hollywood elites. Anytime you see the word nonprofit next to Newsom, you should be very, very skeptical.
He's making a profit. That's 100%. It's amazing that with all the scrutiny that JD Vance and everybody else is putting on the fraud, that they can't even help themselves. It's like they got to do it. But until some people start going away, they're going to keep trying it.
Well, I was going to add to it. So apparently there was another mic drop. Retired Marine Joey Jones mic drops the same story going, if Democrats really cared about this issue, make it easier to raise a family in California. Don't charge them the $2 extra gallon for gas because that needs to be special California gas.
Right.
And then there's this crazy weird surcharge that they don't even know where it comes from. He says, don't do things like spend $100 million on a land bridge so California cougars can get one from one side of the interstate to the other. We're not talking about the California cougars that are humans, He says, what do? You put a Band-Aid on a tourniquet problem and run for president. I mean, I'm telling you, this is what I've been saying to you for a while now. The fraud is just the elephant nose is coming in. You're getting more of the elephant. It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Well, tonight, I think takes the case. I'm going to take a break and I'm going to come back and jump into what the Democrats' new plan is, which is just.
Oh boy, I can't wait.
I mean, they've completely ripped open the kimono and are showing everybody really little wieners because, oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
I mean, at this point, it's like, are you seriously going to try and do this? Yeah, when you guys hear what the Democrats want to try and what they're telling people, you'll understand the reference about the little wieners in opening the kimono. It's desperation. You will smell lots of desperation.
Ooh,
Oh gosh!
Yeah. All right, Barry. I'm looking forward to that story.
All right, coming up.
Welcome back to Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
I think you might need a little bit more of that. Okay, so I know it's Sunday evening. It's Mother's Day. You've probably had a great day, and I hope I don't want to ruin it, but you got to see this. Don't look away, because the Democrats have finally told us they've got. We thought they were bat poop crazy. Now we've got a litmus test. We actually dipped it into libtard blood, and yep, it confirmed you're crazy. So I'm going to take you down a trick here that's really going to probably freak some of you out, but don't look away. As President Trump says, you sometimes have to know what your enemy is doing, and this story you're going to have to pay attention to.
This is a pernicious, across-the-board attack on democracy.
And an attack on black people specifically. A lot of times when I've seen this story framed over the last few weeks, it has been framed as a Democrat versus Republican issue, as a battle for the soul of the House of Representatives. It is not. It is an attack by white people against the very concept of black representation.
Okay, so if it's against the very concept of black representation, are you saying that black people can't vote for who they want to represent them? See, I think what is happening with the Democrat Party is that they have taken the Voting Rights Act since 1965 and co-opted it so that they could determine who was going to win. Didn't really care who you're going to vote for. This is the guy or gal that we are going to put here to represent you, and you must vote for them.
This is Jim Crow 2.0. And I don't mean that in a kind of hyperbolic way. Yeah. I mean that on a ground level, like what are they actually trying to do?
Jim Crow was not one thing. Right? Slavery was not one thing. It was a series. It was hundreds of little things that curtailed people's freedoms, and that's what's happening. That from 1965 onwards, we've fixed a lot of little things, and this administration's taking one thing down at a time.
If you lived in the Jim Crow South as a black person, you could vote as long as you could guess the number of jelly beans.
There are actual people, I don't know who they are, who watch this stuff and take it as gospel. Why it's important is because I make it incumbent upon you to talk to the people at work, talk to people you know and go, this ain't real. None of this is real. It is not Jim Crow 2.0. They want to take you back to Jim Crow 2.0. They want to go back to the days of when, they were using chains because it helped them. A free black, a free demographic that can vote for who they want to, not because they're told to. That because they've been instructed to by people in church, for people they work with, their family. You got to vote for that person. I don't like that person. Well, there was nobody behind door number 2. They completely choreographed it so that you had to vote for that one person. There's no other option. And that's why some of these people have been there 20, 30, 40 years.
You can vote as long as you figure out what day, what time. If it way that people are disenfranchised is not saying, Darky, you can't vote here. It's all of these little procedural issues that frustrate and suppress the ability of black people to vote or the ability of those votes to matter. And that's what the Supreme Court has approved. That's what.
All right. So if you didn't know and you were just a little ignorant Negro, and you had no idea what was going on, this guy just told you that, the Supreme Court stripped you of your right to vote, which isn't true. I don't know how these people can go on television and say this drivel.
The white supremacist decision in Louisiana versus Calais approved this reconstruction of the Jim Crow South. It's not just what Democrats need to do. It's what Americans need to do. Right. Whether or not Americans want to live in this reconstituted apartheid state.
Oh, okay. So now we are in a reconstituted apartheid state. And in order for, here's where it gets good. I'm glad you sat through this 2 minutes. This is where it gets good. We can't do it. We lost. So we need to convince enough whiteys to do what we need to do so that we can win. That's what they're saying at this point. They understand that in order for them to have any sort of power, they need to convince enough white Americans to do the good thing and help out the brother man. Help out the brother man. Do what you can. Because they've lost. I've said it so many times here. They've got nothing. I'm going to prove to you they've got nothing.
And unfortunately, what I see is most Americans willing to go along with it. When you look at how they are redistricting the maps in Louisiana or Tennessee, please note, they are not messing with white Democratic enclaves in those states. There are white Democrats in Tennessee. There are white Democrats in Louisiana. They're being left alone. The neighborhoods that are being taken away are the black neighborhoods.
Okay. So, again, misinformation, disinformation, however, how are they taking away neighborhoods? The host here just sits there and smiles with his big goofy glasses. This message that you're hearing is directed at people like you who are white. He's trying to let white people, have that empathy, that virtue signaling to know we can't do it without you. We're done. They've stripped away the neighborhoods. What neighborhoods can't vote? Anybody? Nope, he's not going to tell you.
Look at Plessy v. Ferguson in 1896. What did it take to overcome that? And it took decades, generations of black people lived and died under Plessy v. Ferguson before 1954, when it was overturned-ish by Brown v. Board of Ed, and 1964 and 1965, when it was overturned legislatively by the Civil Rights Act and the now defunct Voting Rights Act of 1955.
Now, here's another thing to understand. I'm going to check the computer. It's 2026. It's as if we've been in a time warp for 60 years. And I think to myself, since 1965, What else have you guys done to advance the progress of black people? But then I said, that's not the question. The question is, it's 2026. What have black people done to advance themselves? Because what these people are telling you in no uncertain terms is that they've kept people in a landlock. They've kept people in one of those time capsules. Why would you be talking about 1964 and 1955? Why don't you just talk about 1990 or 2000 or 2010? Because the question that people need to ask is, why is it in 2026 that black people need additional help to actually what they consider be equal? That's the question. What I don't need the Voting Rights Act anymore. I don't need Rosa Parks on the bus. I don't need any of this stuff. Why do you need it so bad? Why do you need these districts? Because I don't even know what a black district is. I've never moved into, quote, a black district. You, wherever you move is how you vote. And I'm going to vote for that guy or that woman. But that's not what they want. They instituted their own slavery. Hey, this wasn't supposed to ever change. We had it made. As long as nobody looked at what was going on in the hood, we own the hood.
So that's the timeline we're looking at. When white people get it in their head that they are allowed, that they are, to use Trump's words, entitled to be this racist, that's the kind of generational long timeline we're talking about. And the way to overcome that is for establishment Democrats and the leaders of this country to take judicial reform seriously.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to show you is it ain't judicial reform what these people want. There's nothing reformative of what they're looking to do. They have now moved into overdrive. They've shifted it into fifth gear. If you've made it this far, I'm going to show you what they really want. Reformation? We want to rip it up and start all over again. That's what they want to do. When I said they opened up the kimono and showed the little weenie, is because they have now shown us all they have no capability and no possible way of winning, and you need to understand this.
That is the only way. What changed between 1896?
Thank you. Just like Stacey Abrams said I played last week, this is the only way we can win. When you start hearing people say the Hail Mary's all we have left, when it's the fourth quarter and you're down by 6, you got to score a touchdown, all you have left is the Hail Mary. And they're hoping people don't realize, oh, these people are stuck. It's the only way we can win. And they mean it. There is nothing else that they have.
In 1954, you had a different Supreme Court. And as long as you allow this conservative supermajority, this racist, this now provably racist conservative supermajority on the Supreme Court, as long as you allow them to hold power, nothing happens.
See? Now they're telling you where they're headed. All these socialist commies, get ready for violence because they realize the gig is up. They're done. And so now, as you can see with him and his agitation, they are completely freaked out. They are completely fucked. They can't do anything. And so now we need to take it to not just the streets. We need to reform this and get rid of these people.
Nothing changes. This is what they want. This is what they have the power to do. And until you take judicial reform seriously at all levels, then you lose at all levels.
I'm done here. I am done here. Thank you. Thank you for finally admitting it. But he just said, unless you change the judges at all levels, we will lose at all levels. Not really sure who we is. So that's the other part of this. We will lose at all levels. So this really isn't about helping black people. None of this is about helping black people. We lose elections at all levels. Until we get rid of judges by any means necessary, we lose at all levels. How about Fred in the hood? Can he do anything? I don't care about Fred. I need to get rid of judges because we politicians lose at all levels. They're freaking out. There's nothing they can do. They are literally going to go to violence next.
When one of us isn't free, all of us aren't free. And I happen to believe that the way
I'm pretty free. So I don't know where you live, but I'm pretty free, and my daughter's free, and my sisters are free. Robin's free. She's so free that I wouldn't try to hold her back. Who's not free? Who in this country isn't free? Who has a chain on them? Well, the Democrat politicians feel like they have chains on them. This stuff can only work for people who have been kidnapped. This can only work for people who don't understand there's no options. And so what you're watching with the black political landscape is that they need to tell black people that everything's been usurped and there's nothing we can do. By the way, unless we get the judges out of here, we're already toast.
that you stop Republican racism, the way that you stop these white supremacist decisions is to reject them, is to put country over party, to put morality over party, and to reject the Republican agenda. But we see time and time and time and again, white Americans won't do that.
I always say, you need to help the white Americans and then you insult them. We've seen time and time again, you guys won't do it. You guys are not going to help us. We're asking you to make the tag, step in the ring. It's a tag team match. We need the white people now to get behind us. Oh, now? Now you need white people to help you. The same white people you've spent, I don't know, the last couple of years calling them racist and Nazis. Now you say you can't do anything without them. Good luck.
The Democratic candidate for president has not carried the white vote since the passage of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. That's not a phase. White people aren't going through a phase right now. They have decided since 1964 that the promise of a multi-ethnic, multiracial democracy based on fairness and justice is not a project they want to be in.
I never signed up to be in that project. I never had a project brought to me that says you need to, accept DEI and all the other craziness these people talk about. But notice again, and the prevailing theme with the Democrats is, what are you doing for the people? Do you have anything you can actually tell us you want to do for the people? Nope.
And so the only way that we've had progress is by a coalition of black people, Latino people, Asian people, and the few whites of good conscience that they are.
Okay, the rest of you ain't got no conscience. The few with good conscience that you are. Oh, this guy, all of them, they're done. Oh, it gets worse. Trust me, we got a couple minutes. It gets worse.
To build a rising majority. That's the only way it's happened.
That's it. Only way? No other way, huh? We're done. I love that as they do these mea culpas because they're so agitated, they're actually telling you what the problem is. They now know they're toast.
And as we're seeing now with these new rules, unless white people get over themselves, unless they reverse themselves and their ancestors and their voting habits since the passage of the 1964 Civil Rights Act, they will get exactly the racist country that they have long desired.
Okay, so now you know it's upon you white people. SB, you need to reverse yourself. You need to check yourself before you wreck yourself, and everybody else, you need to know that they need you to change everything in the way you've lived for the last 60 years, even if you're not 60. But how does that help anybody? Well, listen to this one. Let me follow it up with this piece. You'll love this.
Partisan redistricting is a fact of life. And now
This isn't partisan.
On the campaign,
What is it?
sure it is.
Racial redistricting.
On the campaign,
You literally are
front, on the-
taking Memphis, which is a city that with black voters, and you split it in three, stretching 3,000 miles.
Who's the current Democrat congressman there? What is it a black congressman?
Oh, in case you wonder who he's talking about, who's the Democrat? No, where'd I do his picture? Oh my gosh, I messed up his picture. So you guys probably know. Oh, it's this guy. There it is. There is the guy that they say that the black people are not going to be able to vote for. That's their congressman. And it's like they don't understand people know it. Like, okay, oh yeah, the black representation is being taken away. Who's the congressman for the last 20 years?
Just because black people are allowed to like people that don't look like them?
Exactly. And that is the point I wanted you to make, because just because you're not going to have a black congressman, why is it that a Republican can't do just as well representing black voters as a Democrat?
Because
why
they
does your
Okay, you're going to like this answer. Scott set it up perfectly. Why can't a black Republican do just as well?
Electing.
Why does your race determine your politics?
It doesn't. No. You're making my point, actually. The assumption is black people. No. The assumption is black people will only elect black people. No, black people are smart enough to elect.
The assumption is
let me finish. Let Ashley finish. Black people will elect people who will actually represent them, who have their best interests in heart. And what Republicans have done
All right. So black people will elect people who've got their best interest at heart. All right. So black people will elect people who've got their best interest at heart. Man, I wish I was sitting on that panel, because he's been the representative that black people in Memphis have voted for 20 years, because he's had their best interest at heart. He eats the same chicken. He eats the same piece of the chicken. But he's rich, and he's Jewish, and he's white. And he probably doesn't even live there. So I'm going to ask you a question. I would love to ask that woman on CNN a question. If voting for people who have your best interest at heart is the key to what's being done in the black community, then how come the black community has not thrived? You see, because the best interest of any American is to live the best life they possibly can. Nobody wants to live in trash. Nobody wants to dodge junkies. Nobody wants to dodge shootings. Nobody wants Walgreens to close down. Nobody wants women to, have the kind of problem these people have. Nobody wants any of that. So if you're voting for Mr. Chicken here, and in 20 years you have not received what you call the best interest of the people voting, then tell me, why are they still voting for him? Why do you still need so much? Why is there so much need in so many of the black communities? You're telling me since 1965 that nobody, or in some of these dark cities, nobody has been able to say, here's what we're going to do. We're going to clean this up. We're going to put in nice real estate developments. We're going to put the best schools. We're going to get you guys all work. We're going to train you. The best interest of the black community doesn't seem to jive with the best interest of the political machine. I'm not making it up. Why is it that it's okay for this guy to represent Memphis, and yet Memphis hasn't changed in 20 years? They don't answer that, because it's not about people. Wherever you live, if somebody in your neighborhood, their grass is overgrown, you probably would go to them and say, hey, knock on a door. You gonna mow your grass? Do you need help mowing your grass? What's going on here? You can't make this neighborhood look this way. 20 years. 20 years.
Tennessee is dismantle the power for black people to have their voice. They did the same thing in Texas because they said they thought Latinos were going to swing for Republicans. There are black people that are represented. I'm black and I got a Republican president right now. Black people don't elect black people based on race. They elect people that are aligned with their moral, their beliefs in justice.
Black people don't vote based on race. They vote according to people who have similar moral values. Oh. Seriously? Did you just say that on national television? You think black people are voting for people who have the same moral values? 75% of the people, the women in black communities, give babies out of wedlock. There's no dad. So they're voting for these people who have the same moral values? Crime in the neighborhood is absolutely rampant. People are getting shot. Black on black crime is insane. But you think they're voting for the people who have the same moral values? That cannot possibly be true. Because then you're saying the people that they've been voting in who have the same moral values are okay with them having 75% or more of the babies born out of wedlock. They are okay with the black on black violence. They are okay that little Jerome can't read because they have the same moral values. Well, obviously that's not true because that guy is a billionaire. And I will tell you, he didn't become a billionaire, despite what AOC says, without knowing how to read and understanding finance and understanding business. So how the hell can they be electing people who still, have the same moral compass? I don't want people to vote for these people who have the same moral compass. I want people who are going to show them how to change their lives.
And Republicans just took that away from them in Tennessee and in other states.
I just disagree that the only kind of a politician who can elect black people in Congress must be a Democrat. This is just an artificial.
That's not what I'm saying.
The Democratic
That's
Party.
not what I'm saying.
Black voters are still fully franchised and can go vote for whoever they want.
Not
it
what
just
I'm
doesn't
saying.
have to be a Democrat.
Well, like y'all are cheating. Okay, just accept it. Yeah,
how's it cheating?
Let me just finish. You're cheating, and because you politically are not favorable right now, and so this is the only way you would actually win the House is by drawing maps. But let's say you were politically favored. The reality is these maps from the origin story of when Texas was being redrawn are hurting one group of voters, and that is black voters. Black voters were losing power in Texas. The Voting Rights Act.
Power. And, and this is where it becomes tough because I don't expect Scott Jennings. I don't expect even Jake Tapper. There's an unwritten rule. The white guys can't question the black people. Call me up. Call me. And she starts with that gibberish. I'm going to come after her. What are you talking about? I don't need DEI. I don't want my daughter or granddaughters to have all kinds of babies with different baby daddies. I don't want that. I'm pretty sure the people in the hood don't want to see people get shot up. This is an embarrassment. CNN put this woman on television, and the other three white people are probably like, "Oh man, you're digging a hole, honey. This can't work in our communities."
Was gutted. In less than a week, you all took black power away from black people in Tennessee and South Carolina.
What power? What power got taken away? Anybody want to raise their hand? Can you still vote in November? Yes. What power got taken away? Well, it got taken away from people like him. See, that's who lost power. The black people still have the same power. You can vote for anybody you want to. There is no preclusion that says you can't vote for X, Y, or Z person. What you lost is this guy sitting there for 20 years with his fried chicken and billions of dollars, bamboozling you that you have no other choice unless you get some programs from the government. That's what you lose, but that's not power. That's just the opposite of power.
In Louisiana. So perhaps, maybe this cheating might work out in your favor, but let me tell you, there is one group of voters that will not be silenced in this moment. There is one group of voters that always have realized what that Make America Great was, and you have really erupted the sleeping giant that has passively been looking and seeing what this administration is doing. Not even like what I say Trump administration always does, a whack-a-mole. They have surgically attacked black voters since day one, from cutting DEI and now to the Voting Rights Act. And I want to see what they do in November.
I guess she doesn't understand the numbers. There are only 13% of the population that are black. And out of that 13, there's a good number of black people who voted for Trump. Because people want more. They don't want to be doled out like ducks in a pond. This dude has sat there for 20 years and smiled at them. 20 flipping years. You don't think it's going to be easy for people to go into this man's district or whatever was his district, and like Trump said, what the hell you have to lose? So brought me to this point because now I'm going to show you that the Democrats have finally waved the white flag. And what they've done, or they're floating it, or this is what they really plan on doing, this is going to destroy, well, could destroy America. Be ready, because the reverberations will be across the country. If you haven't seen it, this is shocking. According to the New York Times, Democrats are proposing a plan to overturn the state's Supreme Court ruling that invalidated the referendum. 1, they want to invoke the circuit court ruling that invalidated a referendum due to county officials not posting of it at the courthouses 3 months before the election, to invalidate the 2020 constitutional amendment that created the Independent Redistricting Commission by arguing that the courthouse also did not post of it at the time either. Procedural. Now is where it gets really bad. They want to lower the mandatory retirement age from justices, this is in Tennessee, from 75 to 54. So what does that do? They're going to vote, or try to vote, and lower the age from 75 to 54. You have to retire at 54. Well, that would remove every justice on the court. They picked the age of the youngest current judge and said, let's bring the retirement age down to 53, 54, and all 7 of them would have to leave at once. The Democrat majority in the legislature can then appoint 7 new justices. The Democrats would then be able to redraw the map because they then would have 7 justices. So just understand, they've come up with some crazy highfalutin plan that they're going to get rid of every judge currently on the Supreme Court in Virginia. Just get rid of them. Bring in 7 new judges that will do what they want them to do. You understand the amount of desperation that they just told the American public? It's funny, the Judicial Hub said this as well. Note, state Democrats are not currently supportive of this plan. No, this is absolute desperation. It's been hatched up in New York someplace with lawyers and Hakeem Jeffries, and they're like, let's just get rid of them all. Let's take the Constitution, shred it, and let's install our own people, 7 new. Now, imagine they do that in Louisiana. Imagine they try to do that in Florida. Imagine they try to do that in the Supreme Court. See, because that's the prize. If they can get rid of Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito and some other people, they're gonna do it. So you're thinking, okay, so what do we do about it? Now, John Thune has to change and break the filibuster. These people need to be destroyed. They are a cancer. They are a festering tumor, and they need to be eradicated ASAP, faster than ASAP. They have now, like I said, rolled it out and told you this is the kind of people we are. This is the kind of people that these people have been for quite some time, but they had to hide it. And now they can't win. They know they can't win. There's nothing that they can do. And because there's nothing they can do, they've decided to pull the pin and throw the hand grenade, blow it all up. So you want to fight? You're going to have to fight. You wherever you are now, you're going to have to sit back and go, wait, what could they do that where I live? Because once they pulled this pin, they're not just going to stop in Virginia, especially if they don't meet enough resistance. This is doomsday. And I don't mean to be hyperbolic. They have now, as I said, ripped open the kimono, and they're just doing whatever they can. This has nothing to do with voting. This is 100% about power and destroying the Constitution and doing whatever they have to do to get it back. By any means necessary has just been launched. And this story is picking up. It's all over the place. Hell, damn the torpedoes. They just want to do whatever they can. And we're looking at it, it's mid-May. And so if this is the kind of stuff that they're looking at doing, they'll do anything. John Thune, break the filibuster and destroy this party before they destroy you, before they destroy America. Because they've got every single district, every single state in their crosshairs. And obviously, this didn't pop up tonight. This has obviously been in some file somewhere. What do we do if something happens? And I hope it puts chills up your spine at this point, and you realize this is a winner-take-all match. This isn't about voting. It's not about the midterms. It's about understanding that we have to make a stand and realize they just launched the first shot of the Civil War. There's no other way you can look at this, is that they want to retire all the judges automatically and put 7 new judges in. Right now, there's got to be some people in the chat just pissed off. Pissed off, especially. Well, let me ask him. So SB, how people in Virginia going to take this?
Welcome to the United States of the Banana Republic. Total institution destroying craziness, man. I mean, what I'm saying is, I think that it says some Democrats are tapping the brakes on it, which they should be, because this is a red flag moment for democracy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking the end. Yeah.
Yes, and it would effectively end everything that we live for at this point. And
yeah, I mean, if they were for reducing the retirement age, why don't we do that with Congress? I mean, 80, 90 years old, where they're crapping their pants and falling down and using walkers. I mean, should we start there?
Yeah.
Start there.
See, the thing that bothers me is that they're willing to even discuss it. And I don't think
desperation.
Yeah, it's complete desperation. That's how you people ask me, and they ask me, for Barry, how can you be so confident? I'm like, this kind of stuff makes me confident. Yeah. This kind of stuff is like, we're trying to throw Hail Marys with 2 balls in the air at the same time. They've got nothing. I mean, literally, you wait till the Supreme Court comes back and says, we're not rehearing this, and they've got nothing, nowhere to go.
Especially with stories like this, I'm reading here, Trump just wiped out the establishment in Indiana. Mm-hmm. Trump-backed challengers crushed Rhino incumbents who opposed his redistricting push, winning a majority of the Republican Senate primaries in a complete bloodbath. They're saying that it shows pictures of like all the news stories. It says from Breitbart to New York Times to Politico, even the fake news is admitting it. Trump owns the GOP.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that bothers them even more so. Let me show you something else, Essie. I don't know if you saw this. This guy, Mark Randazza, I'm not sure who he is. Let me see who he is. First Amendment lawyer. He's a lawyer, and Charbon, Lenny, Bruce died for your sins, whatever. And he writes this. He says, Republicans, you really effed up with this whole gerrymander war. Just you wait. The Democrats are going to retaliate by gerrymandering all the New England states. And I just responded, who wants to tell them? They've already done it. They've already, look at Massachusetts, 36% Republican, no seats. Connecticut, where I'm from, 42% Republican, no seats. Maine, 46-0. New Mexico, 46-0. New Hampshire, 48-0. Rhode Island, 42, and on and on and on. They've already done it. They just got caught.
Well, I actually look at the comments of some of these to see what some of the replies and stuff are. Some people said he was being sarcastic, so I don't know if that's true. If it was, it didn't go over so well, but because that map you showed clearly shows that like either he doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground, or like he was being sarcastic, right?
I hope as a lawyer he was being sarcastic because. But you know the thing is we're going to see more and more people doing this insanity. If you're willing to automatically retire the entire Supreme Court just to get your way, I mean you're essentially whacking them. I mean, let's be honest. That's what you're doing. You're whacking these people, and where do you go from here at that point?
Well, I mean, we've become a banana republic. No, there's no laws anymore. No one listens to anything. You got rogue judges enforcing stuff everything that Trump does. You have some rogue judge coming out of the woodwork. I mean, I saw one that said, some rogue judge said ET has to come back.
Oh my God!
He released those UFO files, as you know.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted, in closing, the contrast again of 1 million people enjoying the Thunderbirds and supporting America and patriotism, like that one lady said, it brought tears to my eyes. Well, I want you guys to know with what the Democrats are saying, that brings tears to my eyes too in a different way. It's tears of complete anger because they are publicly showing people now they don't give a rat's behind. They are willing to go whatever it takes at this point to try and win an election. And
well, the other thing, Barry, is that I think it's cool and it's awesome to be patriotic again. Like the 250th celebration of the country, that's going to make me. I mean, I'm definitely all down for that. I'm looking forward to all the celebrations and the UFC fight and all. The Air Force, the new Air Force One buzzing over the White House.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm going to be like.
And
I feel
even
great to be in America.
Even little things like Robin went shopping with Ashley, and they both came back with these pretty sundresses, and I'm like, oh, that's really pretty. She goes, some of the stores has stopped selling very feminine, pretty, floral-looking dresses, and now that's coming back because they didn't want people to be feminine. She tried it out. I'm like, that's gorgeous. I mean, it was I hadn't seen her in one, and she goes, they stopped selling them. So
well, it seems like the only ones wearing are the Democratic dudes. I mean, I wrote to you earlier. I said, Justin, if your dad is a Democrat, make sure you wish him a happy Mother's Day. Okay.
What's sad is that's actually true. I mean, when you think about it, it's very sad. And I just want people to know it's getting scary because here's the problem I'm having. If they're willing to say this publicly, can you imagine what they're actually discussing privately?
Well, I mean, isn't Obama up in Canada like with with Carney, and then like that's a big story I've been watching.
Yeah,
that Soros. I mean, what's he doing there? I mean, he's
got no rights being there, and why Carney would even have to talk to him is beyond the pale at this point. So it's all just insanity at this point.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, listen, great. You're the harbinger of truth, Barry. I'm loving it. Everybody's loving it as well. So
I mean, I know some people don't like to see the MSNBC people and like the crap that they say, but the problem is they mean it. And if you don't see it, you're going to be surprised by it. And so at this point, with them trying to, they're basically how's the saying go? The corner dog is when people start getting really, nervous and dangerous. And so these dogs feel they're in a corner. They've got no way out. And I want people to understand there is no way out for them.
Yeah.
So
except violence. That's what I'm seeing more of. Absolutely. So
yeah.
All right. Well, listen, I hope you have a great night, Barry, and also Fanfare Group. Have a great night. Happy Mother's Day again to everybody.
All right. Let me go ahead and do super chats, and I'm looking. They haven't posted his schedule for tomorrow's, but I plan on doing something around 4 unless there's something really, really pressing. All right. Talk to you tomorrow, SV. Yep. Thank you. All right, everybody. I hope you got some. And again, don't look away. As ignorant as these people sound, the fact that they're saying this stuff out loud in public so that people can see it should tell you they're nuts. They're absolutely nuts, and they're dangerous. All right, let me do super chats here a little bit. 1 second. Okay. Pekovsky celebrating today Mother's Day, and regular gas reached a solid $6 a gallon in Chicago. Patiently waited over an hour to be seated in a restaurant. Yeah, business is business. Brian, if you hear them, it's too late. He's talking about the Jets. Oh, it was amazing how, we're looking for them. Where are they? And by the time we catch and they were coming by, you're absolutely right. It's too late. You've already been blown up. George, this weekend for the wife and I was all about Mother's Day with families of all types at the park having a barbecue, listening to music, smiling. I think Chicago wrote a song about that. Saturday in the park. Penny Porter, Katie Porter and her debate tried to claim that people can't get their homes rebuilt in Los Angeles because Trump would not give them disaster funds. Caitlin, happy Mother's Day, everyone, and to you as well. Chiosop, Mondami's $30 million supermarket is $29.8 million theft. Agreed. Cole, AJ is giving my dad TDS. How do I reverse it? AJ, show him the truth of what these people are doing. Mr. Phelps, Miss Phelps, don't lose that pic of you and our future president. I won't. Marco Rubio. Beverly Linton, Dems will be ramping up the insanity that Trump and MAGA are bringing down of America and call for little arms and riots, painting patriotic Americans as Nazis, basically ramping up a call to burn America down. They have no choice. You're going to see it. You see what this guy Hassan Piker's been saying. It's coming. When you have no options, that is your only option. Senator Thune is one of them. That's what we need to do. We're like, hey, listen, they're ready to pull the pin. And so if they're ready to pull the pin, we need to be ready as well, for sure. And what about Kelly Raxter, what Obama did is a violation of the Logan Act, but they never prosecute anybody on the Logan Act. It never, ever happens. I don't know why, but who knows? All right, so I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in and bearing with me. I know that stuff it just grates on you hearing these lefties talking, but I wanted to lead into so you now know what their plan is, and their plan isn't good for America. Let's see tomorrow if some people run from it or do they embrace it. Because the news, it hit this afternoon, and it's on a Sunday, so I need to see what people are going to be talking about it, including President Trump. All right, talk to you guys tomorrow.
Network.